The mempool is full and it costs you about the equivalent of $12.50 to send a Bitcoin transaction on chain. Many people think that this is a bad thing, but that's not the entire story. Hello there, children, and welcome to the Freedom Dioxide Dialogues with me, Knut Svanholm, and Luke the PseudoFinn. Hi there, Luke.
Hi there, Knut. Good to be here.
Today, we thought we'd explain a thing or two about why Bitcoins are so costly to send on-chain every now and then. Because for this mid to end November week that we're in when recording this, the on-chain fees for sending Bitcoin transactions has been quite high, like between 200 and 300 sats per byte. And we thought we would try our best to explain what that means for those of you who haven't really figured that out. As you can see, right now, the mempool is full and it costs you about the equivalent of $12.50 to send a Bitcoin transaction on chain. Many people think that this is a bad thing, but that's not the entire story. Probably the main reason that this is the case is because there's a bunch of shitcoiners that sell stupid monkey pictures that they put together by ordering sats in a certain order. Yes. They order the sats into a way that can become a picture if you put it into a program somewhere. And then you can sell that picture to some gullible person and telling them that they own that picture. Now, we Bitcoiners know that there's no such thing as intellectual property, except for maybe one, and you can't really own a monkey picture. So this is a scam that can be done for a limited amount of time, but either these people run out of money or there aren't just more bigger fools to fool out there after a while. This happened a couple of months back when the first ordinals hype was on. And they managed to keep that running for almost 2 weeks. And it's been, almost 2 weeks this time around too. And I think these people are running out of money sooner or later. I mean, there are new technologies for doing this stuff popping up every now and then. But we're here to assure you that in the long run, this is not a problem. However, there are some other things you should know about Bitcoin fees. The miners who devote computing power and energy to guess a number in order to find blocks every 10 minutes. They do so because they're economically incentivized to do so, because they get a block reward, which consists of two things, the block subsidy and the fees for the transactions. And right now, the fees are higher than the block subsidy will be after the next halving around April next year. So the fees are a significant portion of miners' income, which means that as long as the fees are this high, miners are incentivized to mine, basically, which means that the network is more secure the higher the fees are, which may sound paradoxical to some, but it's not that hard to understand. Also, the blocks are full because the blocks are limited in size, and they're limited in size to ensure that the entire blockchain does not become too big. Because if it's too big, it becomes too costly for the everyday man to run a full node in their house. If the block size wars would have been won by the Bitcoin, the shitcoin cash people, blocks would have gone bigger and bigger over time, and the whole blockchain would have been bigger and bigger, resulting in something that is much more easily hijacked and centralized over time, because a simpleton wouldn't be able to run their own node and verify the chain themselves. So that's why we have smaller blocks, and that's why the mempool gets full. However, there are many ways. If you don't like paying high fees, you can always open a Lightning channel or even use a custodial Lightning wallet. There are some risks to that, especially to the custodial solutions. But as long as you're using Lightning, you're paying very, very minimal fees. And that's the way it will be for a long time ahead. So any thoughts on this, Luke? Or was that a good explanation? I don't know.
A very good explanation, and for anyone who's aware, this was entirely unscripted and spontaneous. So I think that's pretty well explained by Knut there. Tell him in the comments how great you did, and like, subscribe, and brush your teeth. So I get to say it every once in a while.
Yeah. So we're predicting here. It's always risky to predict the future, but I certainly predict these fees to go down over time, simply because the ordinals people will run out of money sooner or later. But since we have halvings, fees will go up over time and on a longer time horizon. The more people that do on-chain transactions, so the bigger Bitcoin gets, and the more time that passes, the more miners will have to rely on fees to make an income at all from Bitcoin mining. So it's something that is to be expected going into the future. So the right time to, like everything else in Bitcoin, like the right time to do stuff is right now and not later. except for spending, which is always later. But what you should do is fire up your own Lightning node. If you run a node at home, make sure that you have at least X amount of Satoshis in a Lightning channel somewhere, so that you're at least able to receive and send Lightning transactions to people. Isn't that right, Luke?
Yeah, that would be the most self-sovereign way to do it. Absolutely. And I mean, I guess one of the angles to this, right, is that, right now it's absolutely not feasible to make an on-chain transaction to buy a coffee, but it basically isn't anyway, generally. Even if the fees go to extremely, extremely small, using on-chain to buy a coffee is just silly. But that's why layer 2's cropped up, right? And so there are tons of options. There's Lightning, there's Liquid that's starting to become more of a thing. And I guess Liquid is starting to do some things to enable and facilitate the use of Lightning swaps, for example, going through the Liquid network instead. But yeah, and the thing about it is the risk of a custodial Lightning wallet. Yeah, there are trade-offs to everything, but at this particular time, it might be the most convenient thing if you don't have any sats anywhere and you need to get something to spend. Well, then okay, a wallet of Satoshi, or maybe better options might be an Albi or something
Phoenix
like that.
or Moon.
Phoenix is a very good one. But yeah, the at-home Lightning node, I mean, that one's great. It's hard to manage a Lightning node yourself, but very worth doing for sure. So yeah, loads of options. That's kind of the point. And the thing about this too, right, is that the thesis is that there will be increased demand for usage of block space over time. It's not always going to be this ordinals or this BRC20 crap. It's going to be other stuff. People are going to find more things to do with Bitcoin, and more people are going to want to use the chain. And so, yeah, fees could be very high in the future. So when there are these gaps, that's the time to consolidate, move things around if needed, right?
A simple tip, which you shouldn't tell too many people, I guess, is to do transactions on Sundays, because for some reason, most people don't transact on Sundays. But that's, I guess, telling people to spend on Sundays would increase fees on Sundays, but it was also level out fees throughout the rest of the week, I guess.
And the last couple of Sundays, fees were not all that low. In fact, even compared to like Saturday, Monday, I think the Sunday was a spike this last week. I can be misremembering, but no, I mean, the fees are damn high, but hey, it's good for the miners, good for the security, and people who think it's a good idea to mint a BRC20 token or make some JPEGs, pretend some JPEGs are on the blockchain. They're parting with their money and sending it to some miners, and so go congratulate your local Bitcoin miner and go shake your local Bitcoin miner's hand. I think that's a good philosophy, right, Knut? Just like shake your local rancher's hand, shake your local. Who else do we shake hands locally?
Well, we don't shake hands with miners on an island somewhere. If we're gonna quote a popular country song.
Right. That's a good point, Knut. Interpret this conversation however you like. And go find the people to shake hands with on Orange Pill app, by the way. Go to a local Bitcoin meetup. That's always a good idea.
Yeah, and listen to our Izzy episode for inconvenient ways of doing handshakes. That's a whole section about that there.
There is. You have to watch or listen to know what we're talking about, though. We're not going to spill the beans here. So go watch the Izzy episode.
Anyway, like, this might have been a slightly technical and complicated episode to people, but the thing is, Bitcoin is easy and complicated at the same time. It can be very easy, but the more you learn about it, the more you realize that you will never be able to master everything in Bitcoin. It's just impossible. The rabbit hole is literally bottomless. And there's always something new to learn. Then again, the more you learn about it, the more efficient it can become as a tool for you. So go read up on multisigs and coin joins and why fees are high and how the mempool works and this and that and replaced by fee and all of this technical stuff. It's a very interesting journey, and it's always fun to learn more about stuff.
Always is. I think that's a good spot to wrap this up on. So yeah, this has been the Freedom Dioxide Dialogues. And like, subscribe, brush your teeth, go to geyser.fund/project/freedom if you'd like to support us. Check out our page there. You can send us some sats. And you can also stream us some sats on somewhere like Fountain, send us a boost, that sort of thing. We appreciate it, really appreciate the support. What else? Am I forgetting anything?
Yeah. Don't be an idiot. Don't buy a fucking JPEG.
That's it. I think we can leave it right there. All right, Knut, have a good rest of your life. Excelsior.
Have a good rest of your life, Luke. Excelsior.